turned 21, which is something I never thought I would say. It felt so far in the future as a young girl that first pressed record on her video camera on YouTube. And here I am, from 9 to 21. What a time it has been. But yeah, because I'm now 21, kind of officially an adult, I can drink legally in America if I really wanted to. I've been doing a lot of reflecting on the things that I want to do more of now that I'm 21. So these are my 21 things I want to do more of now that I'm 21. And in the birthday spirit, why not keep it going by doing this all in a party hat? I have this photo from my birthday, which I'll insert, which is me just crying in a birthday party hat. Let's start with the things I want to say bye-bye to now that I'm 21. Apologizing for existing. I feel like a lot of my life, maybe because of my medical condition, I have felt like such a burden, and that is no one making me feel that way. That is no experience I've had where I have felt like I've been a burden. But I think because I've always felt very guilty for having to need a lot from people or rely a lot on people, whether that be friends or mainly family, that I feel like I'm constantly apologizing and constantly not wanting to take up space in a room because I just don't like myself. And I think we all have a level of that, you know. I think it takes us so long to actually grow into our own and feel proud of our existence and who we are. I'm just really trying to reassure myself that I deserve to be where I am. I deserve to take up space, and I don't need to apologize for simply existing. Okay, that's first on the Nikki list to tick off. Apologizing for existing. We're not doing that anymore around here. Doom scrolling. I do not want to be up till 3 a.m. on my phone. I can't do this anymore because I sleep like shit. I feel like shit. I feel like I get nothing done in my day, but when I'm in like a depressive period, I find it very easy to be sucked into content online. There is no need to spend 3 hours watching like 330-second videos. That's not conducive to your life. I've just overwhelmed myself so much by the idea of, say you spend like literally 2 hours a day scrolling through TikTok. Think about how many hours that is in a week, and then like that's like that's 14 hours a week that you could be spending on social media just scrolling, and then add that many hours together of your life that you've just spent mindlessly watching mind-numbing stuff. Like, it just feels like such a waste when you could be doing other things, being more present. Using caffeine to avoid rest. I'm starting off very well here with my coffee. After this coffee, this starts from today. I have a real habit of using caffeine any time that I am tired or any time that I feel lethargic, or say I have just been scrolling for 2 hours and it's made me feel really demotivated and really mind numb and just all the things that you don't want to feel. I will just straight away go to caffeine because I feel like I need more energy. It means that I'm so insanely tired at night, but I'm also wired because like your body's fighting itself because it's got caffeine, a stimulant, and then it's also insanely tired. So they're just like, hey, I'm trying to sleep, but also I can't switch off my mind. And that's also what's really bad about your phone, is like when you're constantly scrolling on social media, that is also a stimulant. But I want to use it now because like I drink one because I enjoy it and I just fancy a coffee, not because I'm turning to it because I feel lethargic and like I'm not getting anything done. But don't get me wrong, I love an oat milk latte, so it's all about moderation, you know. I'm not going to cut something completely out of my life. It's just trying to make changes. That's it. Filling silence with noise. I have grown up never being comfortable sitting in silence. Ever. I think it's a trauma thing, I really do. I've always really struggled to sit in silence. Like even right now, the fact that I'm just talking but there's nothing playing in the background is kind of spinning me out of control. I find it very difficult, like obscenely difficult, to sit in silence. Like even though I love being alone and I love it, like being silent where I'm not having to like interact with someone, I can never sit in silence by myself. Like there always has to be something playing, whether it's music or the TV that I'm not even listening to or a podcast, whatever it is. I cannot sit in silence. I will go to the bathroom to do a wee and I am taking my phone with me to play something because I just cannot bear the minute of silence. It's really bad. What I'm just trying to do is like get comfortable with sitting in quiet, because I think what quiet does is it allows you to be present. And I think a lot of my life I've really struggled, because of all I've been through, to be present. And I think when you actually sit in silence or sit in quiet, it doesn't even need to be silence, but allow yourself to sit in quiet, it allows you to actually be present. I feel like I have such a racing mind, like there's 100 things going on in my head at one given moment in time. And I guess alongside that is doing more meditating and using silence to help me feel more calm, and doing things in silence. It's in silence that I think we all hear ourselves, not what the world is shouting at us. So my next thing is saying yes when I mean no. I am a people pleaser to my damn core. I would literally do anything for anyone, even if I absolutely do not want to. Because I didn't like myself, I really felt like I had to earn someone's kindness. Like I had to say yes to everything, even if it didn't make me happy, even if I absolutely didn't want to do it, because I had to earn someone's acceptance, I guess. I felt like I had to earn people's acceptance, which is absolutely not the case, and I know that now. But am I still a people pleaser? Absolutely. I think it goes back to not wanting to take up space. I think by saying yes, it felt like less of a conflict than saying no. It's actually really interesting. I went to an event recently and I spoke to this life coach, and I was like, oh God, yeah, okay. I see a therapist, but I was like, life coach, what does that even mean? I only sat with her for like 10 minutes and she was like, how can I help you? And honestly, I was thinking, I don't know how you can help me. I was saying how I have always felt so out of control in my life because of my health and my appearance and so many other things, that I have found control in quite unhealthy ways, not being kind to myself in the past and my body in the past. She was saying that even being a people pleaser is so much about having control over wanting to be liked by people. What it really is that you feel like you are lessening the threat of something bad happening by saying no, even though that is absolutely not the case. I feel like if I limit the chances of someone acting in a way that I don't know how to react to, or limit conflict and being put in an uncomfortable position where I maybe hurt someone's feelings, even if it's so warranted to say something that might rub them up the wrong way just because I put myself first. I've always just wanted to do anything else but say no in whatever way that was. And I think that's why for so long in my life I never ever had genuine friendships, because I would just say yes to anyone and whatever they needed, when they would never ever do for me what I would do for them. Saying no is so important to give yourself boundaries. You will run yourself into the ground if you never put yourself first. I think in life you just learn that you have to advocate for yourself more. I could so easily fight in the corner for someone that I love, whether that's a friend or a family member. I could so easily advocate for them. But if it's for me, I'll be like, yeah, okay. We spend so much of our lives pleasing others when we're not even bloody pleased ourselves. Saying no can also just mean no to a relationship, with someone that you don't deserve. I feel like so much of saying no is just giving yourself what you deserve. Next one, comparing myself to other people's timelines. I think we can all do this. It is so easy to. And I think for me, now that I'm 21, so much life has been lived by the time you're 21, in the sense that, don't get me wrong, I know so little life has been lived. I'm 21 and you still have so many 21 years ahead of you, In 21 years, I'm going to be 42 and all of this is not going to be applicable anymore. I'm going to be like, why was I even caring about saying no in the first place? I have lived a lot of life, got awards, I've achieved so much in my life, which is amazing. And I'm very proud of myself, but I feel like every year and every age I hit, I mourn a healthy version of myself. And I've kind of spoken about this before, and I mourn the life experiences I could have been having at that age. And I feel like 21 is quite a pivotal year, in that it's a big milestone birthday. In these kind of years, they're kind of pivotal years where you feel like the world is your oyster and anything is possible and anything could happen. There's so many possibilities ahead of you, I guess, or at least it's how it should feel, right? It's so easy to feel like you're behind when you see what other people are achieving online, and that doesn't even have to be in work achievements or things like that, or monetary successes. It could just be being in a relationship,
or getting married or having children or having your own place or like whatever it is. It could be a big or a small achievement, but it's still an achievement. And so I feel like though I know I've achieved a lot and a lot more than most people have at my age, like on paper, I've lived very little life. Like my life has been so sheltered and in such a bubble. Like I've never been to uni. I won't be able to have children when I'm older. I rely so much on people that I've never traveled alone. I've never had a sleepover at a friend's house. I can't learn how to drive. And I'm not saying it's like I'm a cup half empty person where I'm looking at all the things I can't do. It's not that. But social media is about all the things that people are doing. And when there's quite a few things that you don't feel like you're in a place at where you can do those things or you have done those things or those things don't feel possible, it is so easy to just have a crappy day because you're just comparing yourself. And we all do it, you know, and it takes that one thing to kind of spin your mind and send you into a spiral of comparison and feeling less than or inferior. And no one is inferior to anyone, and everyone is on a different journey. Even me, you know, I think a lot about dating and how I've never been in a long-term committed relationship. I've never really dated, but so many of my friends are in long-term committed relationships. My brother and sister are, my mum and dad luckily still are. I've had a lot of healthy relationships around me in my life, which I'm very grateful for because I know that can be rare to grow up with, but it only makes me want that more. And so when you see that online as well, you're so happy for these people achieving things as well, and there's no reason to feel guilty about that. You can feel happy for someone but also upset that you don't have that for yourself. I'm just trying to respect my own pace. Like, life is not a race, you know? Just because someone gets there quicker doesn't mean you won't ever. And I do not believe in everything happens for a reason. That's rubbish because so many things happen in the world that there's no justification. Life isn't linear and we're all allowed to bloom differently, and it's not a race. Just stop and look around at like where you are rather than being so hell-bent and caught up in where you're not. Letting people have access to me just because they want it. This kind of literally goes back to saying yes when I mean no, and all of this kind of like people-pleasing tendencies that I have. Not everyone deserves your time. They don't. I'm trying to learn to protect my energy and conserve my energy and, again, do what's best for me without feeling guilty. Setting boundaries are not something you should feel guilty about, especially with people that haven't really been good to you or haven't had a positive impact on you mentally or in your life. So really with that, it's just like less of saying yes when actually I mean no. And if I don't reply to someone instantly and I reply to them in 3 to 5 business days or longer, knowing me, 7 to 12 working days, that's okay. We as humans were not meant to have access to each other 24/7. Back in the day, sorry, I don't want to say back in the day because I know some of you watching it would have been your day, but you know, back in the day, you would say to your friend like, oh, let's meet at this time. You wouldn't have access to them to like arrange anymore. You would just meet them then in person. Like, it is not normal to constantly have access to each other 24/7. Of course, in an emergency, thank goodness we have phones and we have technology. However, unless it's an emergency, it is not normal to be accessible 24/7, whether it's in work or it's in relationships or friendships, however it is, that is not normal.
Nikki from the future here. I am about to go out and meet some friends who I've not seen for months, but obviously I'm feeling very naked without my jewellery, so it's time to put on my jewellery and show you some new pieces that I have treated myself to for my birthday. It's a present from me to me. As you guys know, I've been working with the lovely Pandora for a little while now, and I truly am the biggest fan of their jewellery. 80% of the jewellery in my collection is from Pandora. They have really personal, special pieces as well as perfect everyday pieces. There really is something for everyone. So I wanted to show you some of my favourite pieces I've been wearing recently and some that I got recently. Firstly, I got this bangle, which I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I find it really difficult to find any gold bracelets that I like that aren't like a funny gold colour that's kind of yellow. It is a twisted open bangle. It's so simple, but it's so gorgeous and it's so dainty and cute, so I feel like you could really dress it up or dress it down. It goes with everything. This is their silver engravable bar bracelet, again like the perfect everyday bracelet. At the back, I don't know if you can see, I got my mum, my dad and my nanny to draw a heart, and I got them all put on the back of this bar, and no one would
would know. And what I think is so special about it is it just looks like such a simple bracelet from the front, which I love. And then underneath you've just got the hearts. This is what I love about Pandora. Their stuff is so personal, but so wearable. I think it's the perfect present for a family member as well. I love mixing my metals, as you guys know. That was a lot of exercise, but she managed to do it. Simple heart. One of my first ever pieces from Pandora was a birthstone ring, but it looked a little bit different to this, and I still have it to this day somewhere in my room. But they've got a newer version of their birthstone rings, and this is July. I love the colour of it. It's kind of like this twisted ruby. And then I've just got this really simple wave ring that I've been wearing loads recently. It's such a nice ring to wear by itself or to stack, and it's perfect for every day, but equally it's a bit fun because it's away. Oh, I'm a sucker for a handwriting ring. So when I saw this, when I was scouring the Pandora website for more bits to add to my collection, I fell in love. This is their love ring. It's like handwritten and it says love. Again, it's so dainty and understated, but it makes wearing jewelry and wearing rings so much more fun and gives your jewelry loads of character. So this is my ring rotation that I've been wearing loads recently. I've been wearing this really cute linked heart necklace loads recently because it's so delicate and it's such a good stacking necklace. They also have it in gold, so I really want the gold version too. Haven't got that yet. Yeah, I'm gonna wear it. I love this necklace. Because of the gems on it, it really dresses up any outfit. So it's such a nice going out necklace. Ta-da! That is the perfect length of two necklaces. I never stack my necklaces or layer them because I can never get the necklace length right. But this to me is the perfect combo without it being too much. Ta-da! I'm absolutely in love with these earrings. I didn't have any gold earrings till these because again, I didn't like any of the colours of the gold earrings I saw. And I wanted something dainty but interesting, and I feel like these have hit the nail on the head that are still studs. They're these gold, almost teardrop pearls. They're so understated. Like if I had my hair down, you wouldn't really see them, but then if you do a little hair flick, then you see them. And I just think they're gorgeous. They're even better than they looked online. I absolutely love them. And they go so well with the necklace because they both have the little pearl element. And look at us. We are all decked out. It's always so nice working with Pandora like this because I'm such a genuine fan of the brand and have been for years. Anytime that I get to treat myself to a few more bits or treat my loved ones to a few more bits, like my mom, my grandma, whoever it may be, it's always a good day. I just get so excited to wear my new jewelry and style it in different ways. Jewelry is such a perfect way to treat yourself, treat others, and build and make memories. I'm glad I got to show you my new pieces. Procrastinating things I actually care about. It's really interesting. Whenever I actually care about something, I really struggle to get started with it. It must be something to do with like perfectionism and how I want to do it so well and overthink it so much that I basically like paralyze myself at the thought of actually doing this thing. And I think I get so overwhelmed by like the idea at hand that I can't think of it as like individual steps, if that makes sense. Like I think I look at the like overall idea of something and I get so overwhelmed that I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. And I'll do everything but that thing, even though that thing is the thing that I will enjoy and am most passionate about. Whenever I'm starting things that I really want to do, I feel like I'm waiting for this like clarity of mind and like this mindset where I'm like, yeah, today is the right day to start this. I feel clear-headed, I feel motivated, I feel right about doing this. And I keep putting it off and putting it off, waiting for this day where I'm going to feel like that. And therefore I'm not doing it. And I think I'm just overwhelming myself so much and waiting for like this feeling that I'll get suddenly one day that will make me do it and like do it to the best of my ability that I just won't do it. What is the point of just waiting for the conditions of something to be perfect when they never will be, instead of just starting? Like it's never too late to begin something, especially if it's something you'll enjoy. And I guess you just almost have to embrace the like messiness and imperfectionism of it, and that's how you learn. Say that you want to start painting, but you aren't very good at painting. Don't let the idea of you not being good at painting stop you from your enjoyment of doing the thing, which is painting, you know? There's never going to be a right time. You're never going to be skilled enough. You're never going to be like in the right headspace to do something any more than you already are. So you may as well just start it, because this is what happens is you just end up putting something off more and more and more, especially if it's something you want to do or that you're passionate about. And so less think, more do. And I think it's so true. Like it's so simple. And I think we can easily just sit there and like cripple ourselves with anxiety and like overwhelm ourselves to the point that we're like, yeah, I can't do anything but sit here. That's just it. You're just going to sit there your whole day, your whole week, thinking of the idea of starting this thing, but not actually doing it. And without doing it, it's never going to happen. Thinking's getting me nowhere. And if it's something that I love doing, even if I'm not good at it, even if it's not going to be perfect per se, why should that stop me from doing it? Like, that's so sad if every single thing in life we feel like we have to be excelling in order for us to even try in the first place, you know? So it's basically just trying to do things because why not? And because I want to and love the thing rather than because I'm good at the thing. So long as you're trying, do it. Glorifying burnout. I am always tired to an extent. But when I push myself hard in terms of work and I'm tired like all the time, or I've socialized a bit too much for my liking and my body's liking, or yeah, I've just done a bit too much of things and not given myself a rest break, I think a part of me thought like, wow, this is good. I can show that I've like done a lot because I feel really tired. It's almost like, you know, when you've like, I keep using lots of like running and like marathon analogies, but you know, like when you've ran a marathon or you've gone to the gym, right? And you feel really tired after the gym, you're like, oh, I feel like I've done a lot because I feel really tired now. So it means I've worked myself like to the maximum I could work myself. But why should you every day be feeling so tired after going to the gym rather than feeling good? Like the good feeling is being overridden by the tired feeling. Do you know what I mean? Of course, there'll be times in life where you have to work more than others because of how busy you are or your circumstances, or like because you just can't help but have to. Like that happens to everyone in work and life. There'll be times where you're just so busy and there's a lot on your plate and things are really stressful. So there's times obviously we can't help it. But I think there is this hustle culture on social media, which is about like the more you do, the better, like 75-day hard. And it's just all a load of rubbish. Like that is not being kind to your body. That's kind of just glorifying burnout. And I think it can be really, really toxic, because instead of you listening to your body and being like, wow, I'm tired, I need to rest, I do not feel good, I don't feel like I've given myself time to recharge, you're like, yes, I'm tired, that's my body telling me that I've been doing lots and like pushing it to as far as it can go and working really hard. They don't equate. Just because you're tired doesn't mean that you have to work yourself to the bone to where you're not happy. So I think it's just trying your best to like work smarter, rest deeper, do things to recharge, and stop equating hustle to worth. Be proud of yourself regardless. But I get how sometimes that feeling is like, I guess, validation that you're trying sometimes. This kind of, again, links to the people pleaser thing, but over explaining myself, I catch myself just justifying my feelings all the time. My boundaries, my silence, apologizing for not replying to people and having to explain why, rather than just like replying to the message whenever and not apologizing. I feel like I need people to say, I get it, or I understand, or it's okay, before I can like validate or honor how I feel, if that makes sense. And I just feel like I'm constantly need to over explain myself and tell someone the long and short of like my whole situation in order to feel like people will actually forgive me. Like it could be something as simple as like, say I'm 20 minutes late for lunch with a friend. I then feel like I need to explain every little part of why I was late and like apologize profusely for that in order for them to forgive me for it. Like I feel like I need to over explain myself. I don't want to be misunderstood. Like I don't care. Therefore, I feel like by overcompensating and telling you every detail and everything that's happening, it allows there not to be room to be read as like misunderstood or read as that I don't care, when actually I care very much and I was very stressed about being late. So it's basically just stopping over explaining myself. Like I was 20 minutes late. Sorry, I'm 20 minutes late. Leave it at that. Not sorry, I'm 20 minutes late. This came up, this came up, this came up. And then this, like, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't. It is what it is. You move on. For the last thing that I want to do less of this year, letting my fear of judgment silence me. Again, it's like all of these are things of being a people pleaser. I've bitten my tongue so many times because I've been scared people wouldn't get me. I think it goes back to feeling misunderstood and like not in control of a situation or like people's perception of me. And the truth is, staying quiet doesn't protect me. It doesn't do me justice. If anything, it leaves more room for things to be misconstrued and for things to be miscommunicated. Silence leaves room for blanks to be filled in of situations when actually just saying how I felt, or whether it's like something deep or it's something really not deep and surface level, would have done so much more good and like cleared the air very easily. Staying quiet does not protect me. It just dims me, and I want to speak up even if my voice shakes while I'm doing it, and that's very difficult. I never advocate for myself, and so I think it's just staying silent does no good to anyone, especially yourself. And the more you stay silent, the more it eats you up. It can be something as simple as like just advocating for yourself in, I don't know, in a workplace or in a friendship group, or like how someone made you feel, or like it could be the most simple thing. Even like if it's, I don't know, someone cooks you something to eat and though you're grateful for it, you don't like that food, but you just stay silent because you don't want to be an issue instead of just saying something about it. Like it just creates more issues for yourself and it eats you up and it does no good. And so I think for me, I'm just trying my best to learn that it's better to say more than say less, and muting yourself does no one any good, you know. If anything, it does worse than actually just speaking about how you feel and being completely honest. Okay, things I want to add in. Host monthly dinner nights with my friends. Me and my friends, like when we see each other, I feel like I never see them enough. It's so funny, isn't it? In your 20s, it feels harder than ever to actually see your friends. You seem to always be busy and always doing something and never be free on the same day. Like I've been trying to even plan drinks with my friends for my birthday a few weeks ago, and no one's free on the same day, and it's not even a lot of us. It's literally a handful of us, and it's the most stressful thing because I'm like, why is it so difficult for us to all be free on a Friday or a Saturday? But clearly it is. Even if it's not monthly, I'd love to just have a date that's pre-booked in the diary for us to just get together, whether it's a dinner night or a movie night, or no big production, no big sing and dance or show, but just a reason to get together. And I feel like there's nothing like a dinner night. Like my friend did a dinner night yesterday, really impromptu. My friend Katie came to visit me and said, oh, Ava, like one of our other friends is making dinner. Do you want to come round to her house? And it was actually so wholesome and so nice. We just, about 6 of us sat in her garden and ate tortillas and guacamole, and it was just so wholesome. I just want to do more with the people I care about, but make it more of like something that's in the calendar and something to look forward to, because I feel like I don't have enough things that I do with people to look forward to. Obviously, easier said than done. Life happens, yada yada, I know, but it's an aim. Journaling consistently. I have never been a journal or diary girly. I've been told so many times by therapists to journal, and I just never have. It's never been something that's been part of my routine, and I really want it to be, because I know it can do so much good for you. And I don't want to journal for the aesthetics. I don't want to journal for Instagram. I just want to journal for myself and to be a private space where I can sort out my thoughts, judgment free. Even I saw like the other day, someone drew 2 boxes in their journal, and it was like one box, things that are annoying me, dump it in that box, write it down. Other box, things that I'm grateful for. We have so much going on in our brains, and quite literally just getting it onto a piece of paper can do you a world of good. It can do so much for you. A bit like just how speaking about your problems and saying them can do so much more than you think. And of course that's not always the case, but I do think just getting them out there and out of your brain into the open or onto a piece of paper can do you the world of good. I just really need to get into the routine of it. I'm really not very good at getting into routines and habits. So that is something that I'd love to do. Okay, next one. Exploring one big, weird or scary idea. I think there's something I'm such a hyperfixator. I love learning about something and then I want to know everything about it. Like I became obsessed with F1 and then I had to know every single thing about F1, like that I just didn't need to know. Like I've always been like this growing up. I always loved knowing the most niche facts and things that are so useless to know, but I just think there's something so nice about picking up new information, even if it's not academic, so long as it's something new. I think like your brain is a sponge, and after you leave school, like unless you go to uni, I don't really feel like I've exercised my brain, and so I just want to like learn more. And I think you can do that by reading, you can do that by writing, and you just do that by absorbing. I think there is so much information out there, it can be really overwhelming to know where to start. So I kind of want to start like writing a list of different things, like whether it's about the pyramids or like Area 51, 52, what's it called? Area 51? I used to love true crime, like whatever it is, or even geography. I've never been good at geography at all. So even if it's about geography or world history, like I just want to learn more. Instead of doom scrolling, I'll read, I'll write, I'll learn about world history. I'll learn about the history of God knows, like the formation of, I don't know, different countries, or, you know, why a certain country is called this now when it used to be called that. Just things like that. I just think it's all stuff to know, and there's so much more outside of your bubble that you don't know about. And I think it's completely okay to just be in your bubble. I definitely am, and I'm actually very naive to a lot of things just because I didn't grow up exposed to much, because I was so like overwhelmed and consumed by my health and all I was going through that I never really was able to look outside of that. I didn't have the capacity. But I don't think it has to be this thing like you're not revising for a test. It's not like the more you know, the better. But if you're able to, in your own time, learn about something that intrigues you and interests you, then I think that's so cool. Even a language, whatever it is. Taking spontaneous trips, even if they're just local staycations. I don't do much, honestly, travel-wise outside of work. Like I have been on 2 trips in the last 2 years that have been for pleasure. Everything else and I know that I'm lucky to go on that many, but before that, I was so unwell that I hadn't been on holiday or anywhere abroad or even in the UK for like over a decade because I was so unwell I couldn't. And so really for me, it's just trying to be more impromptu. I keep saying to my mum, why don't we just go to Greece in October if we can? Like, why don't we just go? We'll book it nearer the time. We'll just see where it takes us and just go. I'm not very good when I don't feel prepared because my life has been so much out of my control and about feeling unprepared for everything that's thrown at me. But I just want to like go somewhere else and feel like it's a little mind reset. I think sometimes even being burnt out or all of these things that like affect us can just be so much from just being in the same environment. So even if it's literally just driving to Sussex and just sitting in the countryside for a couple of hours, just listening to birds chirping to reset my mind, let's do it. Why not? Like, why do we have to have everything figured out? Let's just go with the flow. Of course, it's not that simple, especially for me with all my health issues. I say that, but it isn't that simple. Having said that, if you are feeling stuck and if you do have 2 days free, why don't you and a friend just go? Like, you know, I think we spend so much time overthinking, over planning, trying to over prepare for things that we don't actually enjoy them to the fullest, you know? So I feel like I just want to be more spontaneous. I'm so bad at being spontaneous. Volunteering or contributing to something bigger. I think helping others is a massive, like not in like a really like do good away, but helping others does make me feel good. And in a lot of life, I've just felt like, what is the purpose of life? And like, what is my purpose? And like, I felt very unfulfilled in a lot of it, but doing things that actually mattered to me, whether it's advocacy about my condition or facial differences or like using my voice for good, so long as it's helping others or doing my part outside of my life and trying to be more selfless, I think can make the world of difference. Because I also think it makes you appreciate struggle. I think getting out of don't get me wrong, I've been through a lot of struggle, so I appreciate struggle. But that's maybe why I want to help others going through struggle, because it takes you out of your life and your I-centric life and puts you into someone else's, whether it's helping out at a homeless shelter or a women's shelter or whatever it may be. Just doing something outside of you can actually also be a really great way to get out of your head. I know I'm not selfish, but I just, for me, want to do more that feels like it's doing something, even in the smallest way, for others. It puts things into perspective, I think, and gives you purpose outside of yourself and the little things. This links to like exploring a weird, big or scary idea and just learning more. Learning one strange or unnecessary skill. Learning something that does not really matter and isn't that important, like isn't going to better your job or your life in any way, but it's just fun to do out of enjoyment just for you. Like whether it's reading tarot cards or learning about different types of mushrooms, like, and being able to see them and ID which mushroom it is, or learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube, like whatever it is, so long as I'm doing it for myself. I think I just want to learn something totally random where it's just for fun and just for myself and like my internal fulfillment. It's not to try and capitalize on, it's not for content, it's not for any type of gain except enjoyment and fun and like internal fulfillment. Because I think that's the issue when you do a job like this, everything you do kind of becomes content, and there's not a problem with that. Like just hitting record on a camera, like it's not taking away from my enjoyment of that thing. But then I think you worry so much about sharing that thing if you're not good at it because of fear of being judged and like being, ridiculed or told you're not good. Like even makeup, I was not good at all at makeup when I started putting makeup on, but I did it absolutely for the enjoyment of it and for the love of it. And so I basically just want to find more things that I'm doing just because I want to, not because I have to. Even like when I went on Bake Off, Junior Bake Off, and then I started baking, I mean, I would bake every single day. I absolutely loved baking. I was an avid baker. But then when I did Bake Off and I was forced to practice and I was forced to do it, it sucked away the enjoyment from it. So I really just want to paint because I want to paint, not because I'm good at painting, because I'm not, but just for fun. Speaking more honestly in real time, I am such an overthinker. I replay conversations. I will retype and delete a message God knows how many times when it should be so simple to people that I know don't care. I will just overthink it all, and I just want to say how I feel it. And if I maybe look back at a message and think it's a bit cringe, or like I overshared, or I didn't match the amount that they text versus how much I text, so what? No one cares. I just need to feel and go with it. Creating something just for myself, a poem, a playlist, a secret blog. I want to make things that no one else needs to approve of. Art just for me. That kind of goes back to like what I was saying before, doing something not for anyone else's approval or anyone else's acceptance, just for myself. And I really enjoy writing and I love reading poetry. And so even if it's just writing poems, like I'm not doing this to show anyone or to get a gold star by doing this work, whatever it is. I'm just doing it for myself. I love music. I don't need to listen to like a certain type of music for other people. It's just for myself. So I basically just want to create more that's just for me. It kind of just goes to what I was saying before. 20. I want to write a letter to my 30-year-old self. It feels very vulnerable and very like, God, what will I say to 30-year-old me? Who knows? But I think I've got a lot of excitement for the future in a way. Obviously that goes up and down based on how my health is. Like when my health is bad, I dread the future. But I didn't even think I'd get to 21. So who knows where I'll be in 9 years, let alone tomorrow. So I kind of want to write a list and a letter of like what my hopes are for her, even if they don't happen. I think there's such beauty to like your past self writing to your future self. So I really want to do that. What do I want her to remember about who I am right now? I think we again are like wishing away our days rather than being present in who this version of ourselves is. A letter is such a nice like way to like commemorate and encapsulate that feeling and that memory. I just need to make sure that if I do it, I don't lose it. Because knowing me, I'll lose it, and my room, which is a black hole, will just suck it up and it will disappear. Finally, I feel like this is a good one to lead on from that and a good one to finish on. Number 21 of things. Making peace with not knowing what's next. We never know what's coming next, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed and it's so easy to get depressed about the state of the world, and I know that I do. Sometimes I sit here and I'm like, there's so much tragedy like happening in life, what is the point? I just need to try and make peace with not having all the answers for everything, and not everything making sense or being logical, and not having a justification why things happen in the world. I think it's so difficult to see wrong happen and not being able to understand why. But I'm just trying to make peace with not knowing what's next and not having life figured out and not knowing who I am or what I want or having a full sense of myself yet. I'm still so young, and that's okay. I don't need all the answers right now, and though that's really unsettling for myself because my whole life has been turbulence and not knowing, and that's why all I crave and all I deeply want is answers and is certainty and is knowing. That's not life. And if we had all the answers and if we knew what was next every moment of every day, where is the beauty in that? Where is the self-development and the figuring it out and the nuance and the in-between and the life lessons? Life is short. We never know what's going to happen, and so why try and wish it away? This is so cringe. But there's this quote by Winnie the Pooh: yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today's a gift. That's why we call it the present. And whether you're going through the worst time ever and wanting to wish away that day, I completely get it. Like, I feel like I've wished away so much of my life. But that's true. The present is a gift. You will never be the you are today ever again. So yeah, I'm getting all philosophical and deep now. I feel like this whole video has been so deep and like therapy. But yeah, those are my 21 things. I would love to know what yours are. And what were the 21 things you either learned at 21 or you wish you could tell your 21-year-old self? I feel like that would be a good video for me to do as well. But for now, these are the things that I am just trying to have mental notes of coming into this new age of being 21. And I'm glad to be here because I didn't think I would be. This isn't a checklist of things that I'm trying to tick through and force myself to get through by 22. This is literally just me trying to live more intentionally. These are the things that are important to me to have in the back of my mind. I'm not going to be journaling every day. I'm not going to be doing philanthropic work every day. I am going to still doom scroll. That's okay. But so long as like I'm actively trying to do less or do more of these things, that's all that matters. I feel like we're all over this video being done now and I've talked enough, hey? So if you are turning 21 or have turned 21, I would love to know some of the things on your list. Maybe they're the same, maybe they're different, or maybe some of the things on my list are on your list at whatever age you are now. It's never too late or too early for these things to go on your list. Yeah, but I will see you very soon and thank you for listening to me ramble, guys. Love you lots. Here's to 21-year-old Nikki. Hopefully it's a good year.